kind of unsettling. How many people have just vanished? Like, poof.
Yeah.
National parks, this year alone. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is. Like a record number, they say.
Exactly. And, a lot of the cases, they do get solved eventually, but some of them, they leave you wondering,
Yeah.
what if?
Yeah. I get it. It's unnerving, for sure. It's like, it kind of makes sense, right? That these disappearances, the ones we can't explain, they make us, well, I guess they kind of fuel that fascination we have with the unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. These huge wilderness areas, they have this, like, built-in mystery to them, Like, they're just kind of made for those stories.
Yeah.
About strange encounters and stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's what we're diving into today. We've got 3 stories, each one weirder than the last.
Yeah.
Ready to get spooked?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, so let's start with a story from Yosemite, Yosemite National Park. Beautiful place, right?
Yeah, stunning.
Yeah, breathtaking views, awesome hikes. Not exactly the first place you think of when you hear unsettling disappearances, but here we are.
Right, here we are. So this story, it involves 2 couples, right? They're camping in Yosemite, just enjoying their vacation. And as the evening kind of sets in, one of the guys realizes, oh, gotta hang the bear bag.
Okay, wait, hold on. For anyone listening who hasn't been camping, in bear country,
Yeah.
What's a bear bag?
Oh, right, yeah. So it's basically a container, you put all your smelly food in it, like, I don't know, smoked ham, sausage, anything a bear might smell and be like, ooh, what's that?
Right, you don't want bears crashing your campsite.
Exactly, got it. So this guy, he thinks he's doing just that, being bear aware, heads out maybe like 50 meters from the campsite with the bear bag, looking for a good spot to hang. He finds himself on this little hill looking for a branch, And the bag, it slips, rolls down the slope, so he goes after it, climbs back up, bag in hand, and that's when things get weird,
right.
Really, really wrong.
Okay, and by wrong you mean?
Well, he suddenly feels totally disoriented. Like, the path back to the campsite, it's gone. Can't see the fire his friends had going. And all the trees, they all look the same,
Right, like the whole landscape just shifted around him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, imagine thinking you're on solid ground, and suddenly it's quicksand. That kind of feeling.
Whoa. That's scary, man.
It is. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he starts hearing footsteps.
Footsteps?
Yeah, in the mud behind him.
Oh, no.
And get this, the footsteps, they get faster when he runs.
Something is chasing him.
Yeah. It's, whatever it is, it's reacting to him. Maybe even, I don't know, trying to control him.
Chilling.
Right.
So what happens next?
He keeps running, and eventually, he says he sees this figure.
A figure?
Yeah, large, dark. He can't really make it out, He screams, obviously, terrified. And then, boom, he's back on the hilltop, right where he started.
Hold on, wait. He was gone for how long?
That's the crazy part. He felt like he was lost, running for hours. But his friends, they said he was only gone for like 10 minutes.
No way.
Yeah. And this isn't just him saying that, Like, time felt slow. He was a mess. Covered in mud, clothes torn. It's like, whatever happened, it physically manifested, Even if the time didn't seem to add up.
Right.
It's wild, isn't it?
It is. I've heard of this thing, tachypsychia, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Where in, like, high-stress situations, your brain kind of messes with your perception of time. So minutes feel like hours.
Yeah, could be that.
But, that doesn't explain the mud and the ripped clothes or the footsteps.
Right.
What do you think, listeners?
Yeah.
Hallucination, time warp, something else entirely. Think about it. Because next up, we're headed to Daniel Boone National Forest in Kentucky. Things get even creepier there.
Oh, yeah. This one's a good one. So we've got a couple hiking this 15-kilometer loop trail. They round a bend, and bam, right there on the path is this tall, imposing figure dressed all in black.
Okay, that's creepy, but like maybe it's just someone who likes, goth fashion.
Yeah.
Maybe. But no, this is different. They said he was completely motionless, like a statue almost. They called out to him. Nothing.
Wow.
Imagine that. You're on a hike, peaceful, and then you see this silent, unmoving figure. Talk about a mood killer.
Totally.
So they decide to, carefully walk past him, give him a wide berth, But as they do, he turns to face them.
Uh-oh.
And his face is hidden by this wide-brimmed hat. And in this deep voice, chilling, he asks, "Where's Thomas Crown?"
Whoa. Okay, that just took a turn.
Right. It's not just some guy standing there anymore. There's intent now, a purpose, a name.
And not a very friendly sounding one.
Nope.
So what did they do?
They freaked out, obviously, stammered that they didn't know anyone by that name, but he wasn't satisfied. He opened his coat, and there they were, pistols, tucked into his belt, and he asks again, where is Thomas Crown?
No way!
Yeah.
So they ran as fast as they could, looking over their shoulders the whole way, terrified this guy was chasing them.
Like something out of a horror movie.
Totally. They finally make it back to the ranger station, at the trailhead, out of breath, shaken up. They tell the ranger everything, expecting him to, freak out too.
Right. But he didn't.
Nope. Instead, he asks them, did the man in black ask about anyone else? Did he mention the name Thomas Crown?
Okay, hold on. How would he know that?
Right.
Unless other people had reported seeing this guy too.
Exactly.
It's like this man in black, he's a local legend or something.
Yeah. They confirm that he did ask about Thomas Crown, and that's when the ranger tells them this story, this local legend, about a sheriff who was killed by one of the Crown brothers right there in those woods.
Whoa.
So we've got this connection to the past, this figure stuck in time, repeating the same actions, asking the same question.
But why?
The question that always comes up, right?
Yeah. What's his purpose?
We might explore that a bit later. But first, let's shift gears to our final unsettling encounter. This time in the woods of New Hampshire.
Hit me with it.
Okay, so this one's about Dave Schoner, a youth group leader. He was spending time with some teenagers in the woods. Camping, archery, the whole summer camp experience.
That's very harmless.
Right, until it wasn't. So one evening, Schoner went back to the archery range to clean up, It's dusk, the woods are quiet, and he notices this. Silence, not just peaceful quiet, but like an eerie, unnatural silence.
Oh, yeah. That feeling when you realize all the sounds of nature, they're gone.
Exactly. And at that moment, Schoner gets this overwhelming urge to enter the woods, not just a thought, but like a powerful compulsion.
Like something is pulling him in.
Yeah. He describes it as this voice in his head, not his own voice, saying, go into the woods. And as he walks in, the voice keeps repeating it. Go deeper into the woods.
Okay, that's creepy.
It is.
Makes you wonder about the power of suggestion.
Yeah.
Or maybe something else. Something tapping into his mind.
Right. So he keeps walking, drawn by this voice, until he reaches a clearing.
A clearing? What is it?
In the middle of this dark forest, he sees 4 trees, bathed in this brilliant golden light.
4 trees, golden light.
Yeah.
That sounds almost symbolic,
It is, and Schoner says, he felt this incredible pull to reach those trees, to step into the light, but at the same time, he felt this warning, like a primal instinct, screaming at him to stay back.
So he's caught between these 2 forces. One pulling him towards the light, the other warning him away.
Yeah, he stands there, frozen, until this thought hits him. If I go to those trees, I'm lost forever.
That's terrifying.
Right.
Like the woods were testing him or something, offering him a choice.
Potentially terrible consequences either way. He turns and runs back towards the edge of the woods. And just like that, the feeling is gone. The darkness lifts. It's like he's suddenly back in daytime.
He escaped.
He did.
But what was it?
That's the question, isn't it?
And why those trees?
I don't know, but it makes you wonder. What unseen forces might be at play out there in the forests, in the wilderness? Forces that can mess with our minds, our thoughts, even our sense of time and space. Man, these stories really make you think, huh?
For real. Like, are we really alone out there?
Yeah.
In all that wilderness, I mean...
It's a good question.
It is. All these stories, I don't know, they just feel, like, different,
Yeah.
More intense than the usual spooky campfire tales.
Yeah. I get that. There's this definite sense of mystery to them, like a real feeling of unease.
Totally.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how they tap into our fears,
Oh, yeah. Like, big time.
That fear of being lost, the unknown, that feeling of something watching you.
Maybe even controlling you.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's break these stories down a bit. See if we can, I don't know, make some sense of them. What stands out to you?
The Yosemite one. With the hiker, That's a classic example of what we call missing time.
Missing time.
Yeah. He experiences this gap in his perception of time, but there's physical evidence that something happened.
It's like he was just plucked out of reality.
Yeah.
And then dropped back in. But with, like, the scars to prove it.
Yes.
And the whole tachypsychia thing,
Yeah.
right? That can explain why the time felt so long for him.
Yeah.
But still, the mud, the torn clothes, the footsteps.
Right. There are theories about electromagnetic anomalies in certain areas that could mess with brain activity, maybe even create these distortions.
Electromagnetic anomalies, like those places where compasses go haywire.
Yeah, exactly.
And people feel disoriented.
That's it.
Interesting. So we've got potential scientific explanations and a little sprinkle of the paranormal. Okay, now what about the Daniel Boone National Forest? The man in black searching for Thomas Crown. That one feels different. More like a classic ghost story,
It does, doesn't it? It's got all the elements, right? A figure trapped in time, repeating the same actions, tied to a specific location, a historical event.
And the fact that multiple people have seen him, always asking about Thomas Crown. That's not just a coincidence.
It does suggest a pattern. Maybe some kind of residual energy, left behind by a traumatic event.
An echo of the past.
Yeah, like that.
So it's like a recording stuck on repeat.
Could be.
Forever searching for this Thomas Crown. But why
Good question.
does he need to find him to, finally rest?
Maybe. It's something a lot of paranormal investigators wonder about, Resolution, revenge.
Right.
Or just lost soul that can't move on.
Right. Okay, then there's the New Hampshire story. With Dave Schoner and that unseen force pulling him into the woods, that was really unsettling. Makes you think about free will,
Yeah.
and whether we're truly in control of our actions.
It does, yeah. It delves into that whole question of consciousness and mental manipulation.
Right. Like, what if there's something out there that can literally get into our heads and make us do things?
That's a scary thought.
It is. And what of those 4 trees bathed in golden light? What was that all about?
The symbolism is strong there, for sure. Some cultures believe that certain trees, especially those in specific formations, they can act as, conduits to other realms, other dimensions.
Whoa. Like a portal or something.
Maybe.
So it's like the woods were showing Schoner a glimpse of something beyond our reality,
Could be.
but also warning him to stay back.
Right, like a cosmic keep-out sign.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got 3 very different encounters, each one weirder than the last. But is there a connection? Could there be one underlying phenomenon, that ties them all together?
That's a big question, isn't it?
It is.
Forests have always had this, special place in human mythology and folklore.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They're seen as places of mystery, magic, the supernatural.
Right, like those old forests in Europe with the giant trees and, all the shadows. People used to believe fairies and stuff lived there.
Exactly. And a lot of indigenous cultures, they view forests as sacred, home to spirits, powerful energies.
It's like those beliefs never really went away, huh?
Maybe not.
Maybe these stories are just
yeah.
modern versions of them.
Could be.
A reminder that the natural world still has secrets.
Secrets we don't fully understand.
So are you saying that these encounters, they could be glimpses into a hidden reality?
It's a possibility.
A reality that's always been there?
Right alongside our own.
But we're just now starting to see it.
Maybe.
No.
Think about it. We're constantly discovering new things, new species, new galaxies, even new laws of physics.
That's true.
So why is it so crazy to think that there might be other dimensions, other realities that we haven't discovered yet?
I like where you're going with this.
It's like we're still exploring the map of reality, and we keep finding these uncharted territories.
These strange anomalies.
That challenge everything we thought we knew. And maybe, just maybe, these strange encounters in the woods, they're our compass, guiding us towards a deeper understanding of the universe and our place in it.
That's a beautiful thought. So, where does all this leave us? You listening out there? Do these stories, do they just, confirm our deepest fears about, the things we don't understand, or is there something more to it?
I think they offer us a chance to challenge what we think we know about the world and to embrace that sense of wonder, that curiosity.
I like that. Instead of just dismissing these stories as superstitions or folklore, we can see them as invitations to explore the edges of what we think is possible.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe if we pay closer attention, open our minds a bit, we might have our own strange encounters.
Oh, that's a tempting thought.
Yeah.
But let's be real here. We're not saying you should go wandering off into the woods alone at night, hoping to find a portal to another dimension.
No, definitely not.
Safety first, always.
Always.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of, freaky forest encounters, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
Let's say. The natural world. It's full of wonder, full of mystery. There's so much we don't know. And that's okay. Embrace the unknown. Stay curious. Keep exploring.
Well said. And, hey, if you've got any stories of your own, strange encounters, weird experiences, we want to hear them. Share them in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going.
Yeah, let's do that.
Until next time, keep your eyes open. Your mind's curious.
And remember, the woods are listening.